Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Count to 10 podcast. My name is Simon Sanborn. I'm a behavior-focused teacher, and I started this podcast as I was trying to give teachers, students, parents ideas about how to better understand behaviors. But it's also kind of changed and blossomed into a podcast about communication and how we all can find better ways of getting along with each other. And by doing that, we're understanding how we're thinking, we're understanding about how we interpret behaviors. There's functions behind all behaviors. So there's something happening when somebody reacts a certain way or doesn't react a certain way. There's something going on there. We call that emotional regulation or emotional intelligence. And as we gain it, we get better at it, and we can handle things that come at us. And that's kind of what life is. Life is, as I said in this podcast lots of times, this great quote of life isn't about avoiding the obstacles. Life is the obstacles. That's what life is made of. Is us continuously making mistakes, adjusting, figuring things out, and growing and being better. And one of the biggest issues our society has right now is somehow you're going to finish the end. You're going to finish the game. Sometime you're going to have the touchdown at the end. You're going to figure everything out. And that's one thing I tried to let my students know as well, is that I'm 51 years old and I have to get help from people all the time. There's people that know more things than I do, and I have to get help from them. I have support staff, I have incredible associates who I rely on, and they give me feedback, and we work together to see if we can find ways to help students. So it's always a work in progress, your life, and it's always going to be some give and some take with people around us. So my main thought today that I would try to have you take away from this conversation or this episode of this podcast is the struggles that we do find ourselves in. And I'll just give you my example for me, which is I'm at the beginning of grad school to become a marriage and family therapist. And I was sitting on my deck with my wife the other night, and I was kind of talking about the struggle of getting work done, the struggle of getting my reading done, the struggle of viewing everything as a task that I have to accomplish, and then forgetting that accomplishing those tasks are part of what fulfills me. I hope that I said that clear enough. So instead of looking at these next two chapters I have to read because I have this quiz coming up, and just thinking of get this work done so I can get this thing done onto the next thing, I'm not taking the opportunity to relish and celebrate the fact that I'm learning something that I want to learn. I'm beginning to understand what it's going to be like to be a therapist and view the world differently, and that this is a huge transition. This is a huge struggle, and that I need to start looking at it in a different mindset. First, I started thinking, okay, so I need to change my mindset to, I like this stuff, and so I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be great, and just trying to, almost like, placating myself in a way. And I thought, kind of associated with the Leader in Me curriculum that I use, there's a habit that talks about think win-win, which is talking about not only can we both get what we want, if I'm working with a partner, say, but we can take it even higher. We can take it to a bigger thing. You can really get what you want and take it beyond that, and so can I. And so I kind of had that idea in my head, I don't want to just be, okay, great, hey, this is important stuff. I'm looking forward to being a therapist and helping people. I got to know this, so it's good, and some of this stuff's interesting. But instead, I thought, I need to take this to a whole nother level. I need to start thinking of this as a celebratory thing. I am choosing to be in this program. They picked me to be in this program. They saw something in me that they thought would be beneficial as a therapist. I feel like I have some tools. So there's a lot of wonderful things that are prompting me into this program and making me want to be part of it. And I need to start celebrating that. I need to start celebrating the idea that I'm doing all the things now that are going to make me a good therapist in the future. And that's a pretty wonderful thing to kind of wrap my head around. And the more I think about it being a positive, and the more I think about I want to make this happen because I'm so excited about it, and it's not going to be the end. It's not going to solve all my problems and all my worries or whatever. It just sounds like something that's really going to be another part of my life that fulfills me. Right now, being a teacher fulfills me. I've been doing it a bit. Being a behavior-focused teacher for 12 years is a long time, and as much as I love it and enjoy it, it can get trying. But that's not outside the norm of anybody who's been in education for a long time, and especially the last handful of years can be quite a struggle. So I'm not trying to put down the profession by any means. Everybody who's listening to this podcast knows that I love educators, and what educators do every day is unfathomable for some people. And so when I even hear people slightly criticize educators and their easy jobs or their nice vacations and things like that, I always just say, come on in, and I'll hand the reins over to you. Let's see how this works out. And you probably would have a different perspective. That would be my hope, not to torture you, but to understand what it is we do every day. So that's my goal. I'm going to try to start focusing on celebrating what I'm getting to do and celebrating what I'm choosing to do, and be excited about it. It's like, planning for a vacation. I had to do a lot of things to prep for it because I'm so excited about experiencing it. So I'm experiencing this program now. I want to get excited about that, and I want to keep pushing that excitement of learning and growing and dragging myself through the mud, trying to have a different perspective on it, and then just allow myself to kind of ride those waves of emotions that are positive and negative, and kind of keep my head above water and focus on how great this is that I get to be part of it, and how great it's going to be when I'm actually doing therapy with people. So that was my little take today. It's nice to have a positive perspective on things and have a growth mindset about things. But I think we can do it even better than that. I think we can find the celebratory parts of it now. And I'll give all credence to my wife, who said, you should be celebrating right now what you're going to be able to accomplish in a couple years. And I was like, whoa, that's impactful. That means a lot to me that she said it like that. And with her, the way she was thinking about it was, I think you're going to be great at this. Let's celebrate now. Let's celebrate every time you have a new assignment. Let's celebrate every time you have a new class. Let's celebrate that, because it's going to be doing nothing but giving you more background content, information to make you the best therapist you could be. So just a wonderful perspective on her part. But she impacts me a lot in my thinking, so she's pretty fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. It's intentional that you're here listening, and I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me. I hope to keep building this community and making it something that is a resource for people. So that doesn't just involve me, it involves lots of people. So I do have lots of people contact me and let me know of ideas, perspectives, things like that. So please keep doing that. Simon, SYMON, Sanborn, SANBORN @gmail.com. That's my email. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns that you're wanting information about when it comes to behaviors or understanding communication between people better, if you're a teacher and you want information about how to handle behaviors or understand the behaviors better, probably the better way of putting it, just email me. Happy to help. If you have constructive criticism, I'm always down to hear different perspectives and different ideas about this podcast. But just keep it nice. That's what we're here for, is to communicate and find better ways to communicate. And trolling doesn't really do that, right? So if there's something you have an issue with or a concern about, please email me, and I'll be happy to bring it up or talk about it and respond. So thank you for your time. Have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.